Welcome back to FM Story. We are approaching the midway point of season 18 of this South American Glory Hunt save. Obviously, we still need to win the league and cup in Uruguay and the cup in Brazil. In the last episode, we went a long way towards securing the league in Uruguay by finishing top of the table after the opening phase and the league phase to get ourselves into the playoff at the end of the season. So without further ado, let's get into the action and see how we get on in the Torneo Intermedio. We're now at the end of June. We're about halfway through the Torneo Intermedio and things are going pretty well so far. After the end of the last episode, we had the last two games in the Copa Sudamericana group. We came away with a 2-1 victory over Audax and we beat Junior 3-0 at home. It meant we finished third in the group. Just the two victories which came in the last two games of the group. And then the Torneo Intermedio. So we started with a 3-2 victory over Defensor Sporting. We were 1-0 down, but quickly got 3-1 in front and came away with a 3-2 victory. We beat Racing Club de Montevideo 2-1. A wild game against Phoenix saw us win 5-3 with a goal for us in the 94th minute, a goal for them in the 96th minute. Jose de Silva ended up with 4. And then in the most recent game, we won 4-1 at home against Montevideo City Talk. So it means we're top of the table with 4 wins from 4, 12 points. We've got games coming up against the three teams below us, though, in Albion, Penarol and Liverpool, starting with this game against Penarol. And hopefully we can pick up another 3 points and go a bit closer to making it to the final of the Torneo Intermedio. So here's the side we've picked for the game against Penarol. We are still missing Enriquez from the central midfield with his damaged Achilles tendon, but otherwise everyone is available. We have gone with Elias Acosta up front instead of Gonzalez. And we've got Wagner playing off the right and Vieira off the left because Espinosa's had an injury and isn't fully fit. But otherwise it's about as strong as we can get. Vieira with a free kick to the back post. De Silva's header hits the post and goes behind for a goal kick. And a throw for them in their own half. They're going down the line. And it's far too easy the way they've gone from back to front there. Ball to the back post over the top of the defender. And that is just horrendous from us. The way we've let them out from that throw in. I mean, simple passes. Palacios then gets to the byline. And Benitez just completely misjudges the flight of the ball. And that's 1-0 down. Right, they've got a goal kick. And they've gone short with it. And then they've basically just passed the ball straight to Mendes. Wagner on the right, ball to the back post. There was a couple of our players coming in on that, and it's gone over the top. Right, free kick for them, a lump towards the box. They've nodded it down. It was offside and went behind, but we have not really got ourselves going in this game yet. Right, we've made 2 changes to see if we can get ourselves back into this. We've brought on Gonzalez for Acosta up front, and we've brought Espinosa on and moved Vieira to the right. Espinosa's corner is headed clear as far as Gonzalez. We find Souza, who goes from distance, hits the woodwork, and they manage to get it clear. Right, we've run long with the goal kick. Espinosa gets back to make a challenge, but Acosta then wins it. Espinosa gets across the crowd there, playing off the ball, finds Souza, who gives the ball away deep in our own half. And this is just going to be one of those days, I think. Benitez cuts it out. Acosta back to Fusco. And then De Los Santos with some time and space to bring the ball forward. Down the line to Vieira. Low ball into the near post, and Gonzalez can't get it on target. Right, Silva to the back post, headed up in the air. Benitez to Gonzalez from distance, and it's just over the top. Right, Souza to Espinosa, back to Souza, onto his right foot. Can't get it through the bodies. And now they're looking to break. And we are in bother here. I need to get people back quickly. And thankfully they couldn't hit the target. Right, we made some more changes, get some fresh legs on to see if we can get something from this. They've gone along with the throw down the line. And we've won it back. Espinosa's fouled, but Correa picks it up, turns and runs at them. Low ball into the near post. It's half cleared, ball to the back post. And Vieira's headed wide. Got to be hitting the target from there. And there we are. Full time, 1-0. Our first drop points in the Torneo Intermedio. And a pretty poor performance considering what we've put up so far in this first half of the season. We've made it into the middle of August. We've got the our first round of the Copa Uruguayo coming up before the closing stage of the league gets started. After that defeat against Penarol in the Torneo Intermedio, we then went to Albion and had a wild 6-4 win against them before beating Liverpool 4-0 in the last game of the group to top the group and go through to the final, where unfortunately we threw away a 1-goal lead and lost 2-1 in the final against Nacional, but obviously that doesn't really count for anything as far as the season's concerned. And so now we turn our attention to the Copa Uruguayo and this third round tie against La Luz. So going into the cup game, we've got almost a full squad available. The only player that's still out is Enriquez, the midfielder. He is almost back, though. He's just not ready for a fitness test yet at this stage. And hopefully we can come up with a victory against a lower league side. Right, free kick for them over the wall. Scoto gets across to turn it behind for a corner. And this isn't exactly the start we were looking for. Into the near post, they've got a head on it. Goes back to the taker. Free on the edge of the box. And it's been deflected behind for another corner. Into the near post, we've got a head on it. They've gone for an acrobatic overhead kick, and luckily Scoto's able to come and claim that. And they've gone longish with a goal kick. De Silva gets his head on it. Gonzalez to Mendes. He's found Vieira in A because of space on his right-hand side. Back to De Los Santos. Back to Mendes. Vieira squares it. Gonzalo Souza gets another goal, his 12th goal of the season, and puts us 1-0 up. And hopefully it should be fairly straightforward from here. And eventually kind of work it around the edge of that area. And then Vieira first time, and Souza hits it first time from just outside the penalty spot. From the kickoff, though, they've gone back to the centre half. Into midfield. And then Mendes gets across to shut that attack down. Now Vieira bringing it forward. Cutting in field, gives it away, but Acosta picks up the loose ball. Vieira finds De Los Santos, who's in the box. Smashes it off the underside of the bar. And that probably should have been 2-0. So they've gone along with the goal kick. It eventually comes through to Fusco, whose header's found De Silva. De Silva again. De Los Santos sees it in the box, dinks it over the keeper. And that's 2-0 and a second goal in the first half hour for Gonzalo Souza. He worked it well. Lovely ball. De Los Santos just lays it into the path of De Souza, who takes a touch, waits for the keeper to go down and just lifts it over him. Right, Vieira with the corner, flat one to the near post. And the header, unfortunately, was straight at the keeper and it's flown into his gloves. But a free kick now, Sousa to take. Lifts it over the wall, went the keeper's side, and the keeper turns behind for a corner. Espinosa to take this one. And deeper. And again, a header straight into the keeper's hands. And another corner, Vieira to the back post. Headed clear. Espinosa's going back to pick it up. Benitez on the left, out to Vieira, who cuts in on his right foot, finds De Silva in the box, and that has to be offside. Surely that is offside. Yeah. Acosta gets across to win it. Mendes to Acosta again. Out wide to Espinosa, takes it down well. Runs at his fullback. Cross towards the back post. Gonzalez gets underneath the header and puts it over the top. And there we are. Half time, 2-0 up. Pretty comfortable. And probably a chance to rest some players for the second half. Right, so we made 3 changes at half time. We've brought Elias Acosta on up front instead of De Silva. And then we replaced the 2 in midfield, Sousa and De Los Santos going off. And Anon and Correa coming on. Vieira with the corner. Mendes with a header. And that's 3-0. And it should be qualification for the next round secured. Free kick for them, whipped over the wall. Scoto gets across and claws it out of the top corner and behind for a corner. They've pulled it back to the edge of the area. First time volley wide of the target. Benitez goes back to Fusco. Into Acosta in midfield to Benitez. Anon back to Benitez. Acosta. Into Correa. Gonzalez. Anon with the run. No one tracked him at all. He finds the top corner. And that's 4-0. I mean, the 2 central midfielders are both kind of playing out of position, but Correa links up well with Gonzalez there, and then Anon with the run. And there was a wide open space in the middle of the defence, and he exploited it. Espinosa with the throw, Anon back to him. Acosta. Espinosa now going across the pitch. Gets it onto his right foot, picks a big deflection and behind for a corner. Vieira to take it. Aims to the back post. It's headed clear as far as Correa. Goes round the outside and wins the corner on the other side. Espinosa with the corner. Deep. Keeper makes a good save from the original header, and then Fusco fires it past him to put us 5-0 up. So it's a deep corner from Espinosa. It's Benitez with a header. The keeper does well to keep it out. And then Fusco just fires it back into an empty net. Right. Elias Acosta to Benitez. And on round the corner, gives it away. But Vieira gets back to win it. Mendes. Back to Fusco. Taking his time when it finds Mendes. Into Correa, who turns brilliantly. Wide to Espinosa, cutting in. Fires it into the box, gets it back. Squares it. Tap in for Elias Acosta. And that's 6-0. And it does now look like every time we come forward, we're going to score. I mean, we've had 31 shots, 16 of them on target. We've scored 6 of them. And we've also had a chance to rest some key players ahead of the start of the closing stage of the league, which starts with a big game against Nacional. But they're now attacking on the left. whips across to the back post. No one's there defending it. Keeper makes a save, and then they've got it's a bad goal to concede. I mean, we are still 5 goals up, but I mean, this cross comes in, and there's no one anywhere near the player it comes to. Keeper makes a save, but none of our defenders react, and it's a simple tap-in. Mendes with a free kick into Carrera in midfield, on to Piricano. Busco now to Benitez, Anon into Elisa Costa. Gets the byline, squares it. Andres Gonzalez finally gets on the score sheet. A header from close range to make it 7-1. Anon does well to get it to Acosta, shifts it, takes his man to the byline, fires in the cross, and Gonzalez gets in front of the defender and beats the keeper from close range. And there we are, full time 7-1 and safely into the 4th round of the Cup. And there we are, at the end of another episode, and we're into the second half of the season. We've got the closing league phase coming up, and ideally we would win the closing league phase, because my understanding is if we win both the opening and closing league phases and finish at the top of the overall table, there is no playoff at the end of it. But we'll obviously have to see how things go. We are guaranteed at least to be in the playoff semi-final, because my understanding is if the winner of the opening and the winner of the closing league phase play in the semi-final, and if someone else somehow managed to win the overall table, they play against the winner of that semi-final in the final. Hopefully we don't need to bother with all of those kind of scenarios. Hopefully we go away and win this closing league phase. We've also, as we've just seen, made it into the 4th round of the Uruguayan Cup, so fingers crossed we can get it all taken care of this season in Uruguay. But join us in the next episode for the beginning of the league phase, the closing league phase, and it starts with a big game against Nacional. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you then.